got my notes on here.
We haven't podcasted in a while.
It's been a while. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
This is our, since it's been a minute, this is our top, each of our top favorite three that we've watched all year of 2023.
That we haven't talked about. So not the top 3 of the year.
No, and they're not even
ones that we haven't podcasted.
And they're not even 20. To make it a little more confusing, they're not even 2023 films. They're just films we watched in 2023.
Because usually at the end of the year we do a
top 5, bottom 5. It's coming.
Top 5, bottom 5.
And so earlier tonight we're at probably one of the coolest places in Tampa.
Is what I'm saying. What?
We're probably in one of the coolest places in Tampa.
Definitely.
We're at Lowry Parade.
Lowry Parade is a obviously an arcade bar.
It's one of those barcade places.
That's really cool. We like it. We haven't been here in a while.
We haven't been in a minute. We had attempted to record our 3rd annual Hallmark for the Holidays
podcast,
the Hallmark Hollies Awards show.
Right.
At a dive bar.
Joy Dive Bar.
Yeah, they converted an old dive bar into like a year-round Christmas themed place. But
wasn't as great as we anticipated.
You can't take the dive bar out of a dive bar.
Well, it's not even that.
You dressed it up.
It was almost not divey enough. Like, it was bright.
Yeah.
It smelled bad, which was divey.
It smelled like a dive bar.
But it was...
you know, like how clubs and stuff used to smell like a mix of stale cigarette smoke and forgotten farts?
Urine.
A little bit of urine.
Forgotten farts.
Forgotten farts, yeah.
I would say more like urine. Or you know what it smells like? Stale mop water.
Yeah.
With urine mixed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to try my best to look at you, but I can hear you with this ear.
All right, I'll turn.
But no, it's fine. So it failed.
It failed.
We didn't feel the vibe.
Yeah, it wasn't working.
It was way too bright.
Wasn't working.
So we're pausing on the Hallmark Hollies Awards show.
So we'll probably end up doing that at home in front of our Christmas tree.
That might be our next episode.
Which feels more appropriate anyway.
So we felt defeated. And we were driving home.
Mm-hmm.
And
you said...
Yeah, I said...
Why don't we check out Lowry Parade? We haven't been there in a while.
And it turns out to be the perfect setting. We're not going to do the Hallmark, but we'll do our favorite 3... The unspoken 3.
And then we ran into one of our
really
favorite
good friend
people that we see out sometimes.
Was bartending here and hooked us up, so we're much appreciated. Made us feel welcome.
Yes, made us feel very welcome.
And was like, record that podcast. And then on top of it, you don't know much about this, but my lifelong followers on the internet me.
Yes, I know. I do know this. What you're about to say.
We're sitting at the Dreamcast table.
Are you gonna take some B-reel of that?
Some B-reel. We got a little bit of B-reel happening right now.
Okay.
But no, those who know my lore know the Dreamcast.
The Dreamcast lore.
Well, my association with Dreamcast many years ago. Mm-hmm. And to have a table with kind of a modded Dreamcast playing stuff was appropriate.
Let's just say it was all meant to be.
The universe.
It all kind of fell into place. Because your third eye is wide open.
It's been rocking it lately.
You have been have psychic qualities.
There's
lately.
A planet or a moon in retrograde somewhere.
It's vacation.
Oh, okay.
You have time to be intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we're here.
So it's a cool spot.
And we're excited. And we're drinking, I'm drinking a lavender
Yeah, so they don't
seltzer.
brew beers here. They sell them.
It's from Woven Water, which is a local brewery, but it's a hard seltzer and it's a lavender flavor. And it's
I think
really
their stuff is mostly local, to tell you the truth.
And yours is...
it's by Civil Society, which is in Florida. It's fresh. Not only is it's called fresh, but it's also fresh.
Yeah. So... both really good.
And so we've watched, even though we haven't podcasted a lot lately since October, it's the end of into December.
Wow.
We're catching up. We're going to talk about a lot of the movies we've watched that we didn't talk about. I'm going to run over the list.
Honestly, I can't believe we've watched that many.
Well, these are the ones we watched together. And
had to
I
remind
left
myself
out
of a
all
lot
of
of
our
them.
December or October spooky movie month movies.
Okay. I didn't
So
watch
that's
that
another
many.
30 that's just like off the list.
For you, 30, not for me.
Even though we saw a couple winners like Tenebrae by
That was
Dario
really good.
Gento
That
and
was really good. You should have put that on the list.
Jason X.
Yeah. That wasn't so good. This is for another podcast, though.
That podcast got taken over and shut down by corporate. So it's just us. It's just the night before now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to run over the list of all the movies
We've
that we have to
seen
pick
that we
from.
haven't talked about.
Yeah, and so then going from third to first, we'll just share each of our
Okay.
favorites. See if
Okay.
there's any overlap. There's no like elimination. There's no like this
I'm
one
gonna make a
sucks.
prediction. Can I make a prediction?
What, are you going to predict what one of my choices are already?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to predict how many overlaps or non-overlaps.
Oh,
we'll
that's
have.
okay. That's a good wager.
I predict we are going to have one overlap.
Oof.
And not that we're both going to pick it for first, second, or third the same place, but it's going to be within our top 3.
Yeah, we have one overlap.
Just one, though.
Yeah. I was thinking when it's...
And I think you're not going to agree with my other 2 at all because I know your criteria and my criteria is completely different for movies we like. But
so what
that's
you're saying
okay.
is fun mom dinner is...
No. No.
All right, speaking of that, so I like that. I agree. I think we're going to have one shared.
I do too.
But what I'll do is let's run over the list for the listeners and viewers at home. We're on YouTube right now. Check us out. As long as the phone doesn't die.
It
That's
might
the one
die.
thing we didn't have. We have all these extra things, like extra ways to record some backup audio. We got this
We have
thing.
to plug in our phone.
We got the
Is
mics.
but we
One
don't have
might
a
think,
plug.
even though we're recording on these like wireless mics now, that the microphones that we hold in our hands are just for props. But no, it's plugged into our little Tascam recorder.
Tascam.
But I'm not going to tell you which audio we're going to use, but we are talking into them and recording.
Well, and also if one fails, the other one.
Yeah,
will
we
pick
have
up.
some redundancies.
So
We have this battery brick, but the one thing this is Marvel versus Capcom. Classic Dreamcast
Classic.
game.
good.
Um,
Look at this ice is.
oh, I thought you were already done with your second seltzer, the 15%er.
But my glass is filled
Your
with
number one
ice.
might change by the end of this podcast. You're like, you know what? EO was better than I thought it was. A lovable donkey. Look how I'm
Read
testing
the
out.
list.
Look how I'm
Read the
testing out to
list.
see if EO's in your top. Good thing we're not doing a bottom 3.
Oh, we should have done the top 3, bottom 3.
No, because we got to
Because that
save
takes
top
away
five.
from our
top
top
5,
five,
bottom
bottom
5 is a
five.
special episode.
Yeah.
It's the one podcast episode I look forward to all year.
Oh, me
Like
too.
part of the reason
You know
I do.
what was great about last year's? We did it at Fat Beat Farm. Maybe we should return.
No, we did
there.
that 2 years ago.
Well, whatever. That was.
No, wait. We did.
think
Yeah,
we
we
did
did the
last
first
year.
one at Fat Beat. We did the second one at Seven Sun in Dunedin.
Oh yeah.
It was our first.
But I think we should go back to Fat Beat.
I'll think about it.
That was fun
See if
I
we can get
enjoyed
that
that.
cleared.
with corporate.
Okay, so here's the list. We can chat about them briefly if we need to jog our memory. And there's one that's not written on our list. We recently saw. So we'll just run through them, and then we'll start at our 3s. So the other day we did see the new Nicolas Cage Western, The Old Way. Which I'll say this, better than I thought it would be.
I thought it was okay.
It was kind of touching.
It was. The acting wasn't great, but the girl did the best job.
Girl was great in it.
She
and
was
I
amazing.
want to see, without giving much away, I want to
The
see
little girl.
the Old Way Part 2.
The little girl was better than Nicolas Cage in the movie.
Best line in the movie, the bad guy at the end, he goes, "Oh, you're the monster."
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That was
I
good.
actually got real. I wasn't watching that movie at first, and I got sucked into it.
Yeah. People said it wasn't great. I think they were wrong. Speaking of things that weren't great, that people were probably right, then we saw Fun Mom Dinner.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
We'll move on. Aporia, that's that time travel
Yeah.
movie. Leave the World Behind, the movie that everybody watched on Netflix.
I liked it.
May, December.
I liked it.
These are Netflix run. And then The Killer, the
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender, David Fincher film. The new Hunger Games movie, Songbirds and
We took the fam
Snake
to see
Whisperers
that
or
at
something.
the theater.
Yeah, that was a family outing. A few years ago, the Amazon Prime movie, The Big Sick. A little more touching
Yeah.
film than we
Yep,
anticipated.
yep, yep.
Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes, a Japanese movie. Another time travel film.
We actually did a Pine Lake Cinema
The
production
Pine Lake
of
Cinema
that
had
at
a
our-
viewing of that. The movie Nowhere about the
The lady who was trapped in the storage container in the
tried
middle
to
of the
flee
ocean.
like a fictitious, oppressive, totalitarian government
Right.
thing. Noel Baumbach's The Squid and the Whale from some time ago.
That was good.
You know, divorce family
enjoyed
movie.
that. I enjoy divorce
Yeah.
movies.
A movie that came up at dinner conversation last night with some friends, Reptile,
Yep.
with Justin Timberlake, or as I like, Benicio del Toro and Alicia Silverstone, or I like to call Excess Baggage Part 2.
Yeah, no, I liked that movie a lot as well.
The remake, which I didn't realize it was a remake, the River Wild movie,
Yeah.
which was a remake of River Wild.
Yeah.
You're
I was like, dude, this movie.
like,
is
this,
done.
and I'm like, not possible.
I'm like, this
And we
movie is-
Googled it. You were
This
right.
movie has 100% been done before.
Christopher Abbott, my favorite weirdo sex perversion movie guy.
Yeah. Sanctuary.
Well, first we saw Piercing.
Oh, yeah.
Later on our list is another film with him, Sanctuary.
Right, right.
Same idea.
Yeah.
It's what he does. I love it.
I like dominatrix type movies.
One of those movies that was like, quote, dubbed a comedy, but I didn't, much like Fun Mom Dinner, I'm like, I don't know if I just don't get comedies in 2020s. No Hard Feelings.
Right.
That was Jennifer
yeah, I
Lawrence.
looked that up because I couldn't remember it, and then I was like, "Oh, that was terrible."
Really funny, right?
Yeah, I looked at it and I'm like, "This movie is terrible."
I just don't think I get like,
and
I
I
don't know.
was so disappointed in Jennifer Lawrence. I
Yeah.
was like, "This is something you chose to do," but whatever.
So that doesn't sound like it made the top 3, y'all. So if you're that kind of fan, you might want to turn it off. The Korean film, which a broker about like selling a baby on the black market.
Right,
That was a lot funnier than
Jennifer Lawrence.
No Hard Feelings.
Yeah,
A movie that wasn't funny at all. That I was looking forward to it. The director of First Cow, like her follow-up movie, Showing Up.
right. Oh yeah, I looked that one up too because I couldn't quite
I forgot
remember
the
it.
actress's name in it. But
I forgot too, but I just looked it up.
she's good stuff. It was good stuff.
It was good stuff.
I dug it. That kind of art school, art project.
My sculptor, she was a
Yeah, but it was kind of a slow film.
some kind of-
First Cow was a super slow film, but I loved First Cow. Showing Up was just okay. Then Sanctuary, which we saw. Ruby in Paradise, a 1993 film starring
your favorite person in the
what's her
world.
name?
Ashley Judd.
Ashley Judd. A young Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
Like one of her first films. And ignored by the Academy. EO,
I enjoyed that movie.
the donkey movie.
Ruby.
Oh, Ruby in Paradise. Okay. I said EO, and I thought you were playing with me. EO was kind of fun, though.
I don't think I could stay awake during EO. I don't think I tried,
Yeah.
but it couldn't hold my attention.
I mean, EO should have been better, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right. To Leslie.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was fun. Sort of like, whatever. A Man Called Otto, the Tom Hanks.
Classic.
Oh, yeah, but a little too sentimental for my taste. But
I love sentimental.
and then we celebrate Justin Long on this podcast. So we did watch one of his lesser known films a while back called Literally Right Before Aaron, in which he like pines for a woman right before she gets married because she marries the guy that she
That-
dated right after they broke up.
Right.
So he was like, I dated
The
her
person
literally right before
she
Aaron.
decided to get married.
Yeah. It was, I mean, it wasn't Justin Long's best, but
Well, Justin Long has some good movies, but he typically plays in like mediocre movies.
I just think his character was like rough, hard to get behind.
Yeah.
A little bit too much of the pining, please take me back. Like,
Yeah,
why didn't we work out guy?
For me.
Yeah. Black Rock.
Ooh, I forgot about that one.
The three women go on the camping trip,
Yep,
run into the
got
three
it.
bad dudes,
Got it. Yep.
and they like get savage.
Yep.
That's a fun movie. The Civil Dead, Whitmer Thomas.
Yes.
We celebrate.
Because we actually met him, which was fun
I
this
have
year.
pictures. Almost cue the B-roll of me hanging out with
September.
Whitmer Thomas right now. If you're listening to the audio podcast, get on the video and see me with Whitmer, in which I like staked him out until I could intercept him to take a photo.
For hours.
It worked.
For hours. We got it, though. We were
Another, and The Civil Dead, like kind of like a ghost movie, was kind of fun. And another, we happened to watch like 2 ghost movies in a row that night, and one called Jetchia.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting too.
Yeah, it was.
Phil was almost a forgettable
remember
Greg
that.
Kinnear movie.
So forgettable that I don't remember it.
But if it's Greg Kinnear, I'll check it out.
So it can't be in my top 3 if I don't remember
Yeah.
it.
That's why we're going through the list. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Mm-hmm.
Say No More.
It was good.
Somebody I used to know. Another one of those, like Justin Long, literally right before Aaron movies. Like, oh, somebody I used to date's getting married.
Yeah.
Let me try to win them over real quick.
Forgettable.
A great Mark Duplass movie, Blue Jay.
I didn't look that one up.
Remember, it was black and white.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's another one like reconnected. They
Yeah.
weren't trying to like stop the marriage, but he reconnected with a friend in town that he used to date, and they're like kind of how it got messy.
Yeah.
Fall, climbing that big tower.
Yep.
Don't fall.
Don't fall.
Speaking of falling a long way down,
Yes.
like the 4 people who are all gonna commit suicide on like New Year's
Right.
Eve night,
Mm-hmm.
and they all
It's a
happen to go on the
great
same
New Year's
building.
Eve movie.
We're close. Francis Ha, White Noise,
Mm-hmm.
and then the documentary about Robert Downey Jr. and his father, Sir.
Oh, okay. I know what that is now. I didn't know what it
You're like,
was
"What's
on
Sir?"
your list.
You're like, I'm not putting that on my list.
But
Hey, here's what I'm going to do. Keep talking. So now let's think about our 3. I'm going to take my jacket off because it's getting hot in here. Are you looking at your? Are you making some changes?
yeah, because I had forgotten about one.
A lot of dead air here.
What?
Said a lot of dead air here.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. I'm
I
just
gotta
taking my jacket.
replace
It's my
one
fault
of
too.
mine with something, but I can't decide what I'm placing it with at this moment.
All right. So, do you want to start with your number 3, or do I have to go then?
You go.
Give you some time to think.
I need a minute to think.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna pull up my notes on my phone here. It takes a second. It's not a zippy iPhone anymore. All right. My 3. I'm gonna start with
You're number 3.
my number 3, which I'm making some quick adjustments between 2 and 3 as
Yeah,
well.
that's what I was doing.
It's tough.
Ugh, mine is tough too.
All right, I got my number 3. I'm ready.
I got mine too. Hold on.
All right, I'm ready.
I think I got mine too. Hold on.
All right, we got to get going.
All right, keep going.
We got to do our prep.
Keep going.
Well, you got to be some committed to it because you might change it if I say my number 3.
No, okay. All right. Okay.
Lock it in.
Got it.
All right. My number 3 is going to be Aporia.
That's my number 3.
Look at that, right? That's our first overlap.
Yeah, that's the one I thought we would overlap.
All right, so Aporia, I'll let you add some thoughts too if you want, but 2023,
Yeah.
and it stars Judy Greer. And it's just like what I liked about it.
Funny. I was like, I know we're overlapping on
What I
that
liked
one.
about it was one, I love a good time travel movie.
You know what? I typically don't, but
Yeah.
I liked that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I liked about it was it didn't get bogged down in its time travel thing.
Yeah.
It was also super low budget, where they're not actually traveling in time.
Right.
They're
yeah.
sending that electromagnetic pulse.
None of
back
that
in
part
time.
made sense at all to me because it's not true. It can't happen.
Well, they made a machine that does it, and how
No,
would we know
in
if it's not
fictional
true?
world.
How do we know?
We know.
No, that's what I loved
not.
about it.
But
It was
what I just loved how touching it was.
No, it
like,
was very
really,
touching.
Like, think about. Well, go ahead.
I
cut
was
you
going to
off.
say good sci-fi does that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it presents this somewhat outlandish concept, which is time travel, but instead of Back to the Future jumping in a time machine,
Yeah.
it's a little more butterfly effect, right? Where it's all right. We found a way to send an electromagnetic particle back to a certain moment of time, and if we can pinpoint where a person is, their exact location, their coordinates, we can send it back to that exact moment, and it'll just intercept their body and kill them. And that death will change the course of time, except for the person who's there at the machine and presses the button.
Right.
And that's all you have to do for the. That's all you have to do for the time travel.
Right.
And so what's great about it is they press the button and like seemingly nothing happens until because their reality
until they start.
hasn't changed until they walk out the door. But then like in all things, it says, oh, if you toy with time, it's like if you undo one thing, it changes everything. It's kind of what
like a movie someone made that I know.
Yeah, they kind of made the undo film.
Yeah.
Which
So I loved.
So the sci-fi part was great, but underlying it was a very touching story about loss, and instead of dealing with loss, trying to change.
Get it back.
Yeah.
And I just love the realism in a sci-fi movie that's not real at all.
No, yeah.
I loved the realism of like, the difficulty she was having just dealing with life in general without her husband.
Yeah, so her
And her
husband, Judy Greer's
child
husband, dies
was acting out.
because of a drunk driver.
So her child was acting out. She was having a lot of difficulty with her. And of course, which is very realistic if somebody loses their dad or you lose your husband. It just kind of feels like you can't deal with life. And they really like depicted that very realistically. I liked that. And I just liked like, well, no, like we knew if you change something, other things are going to have to be different. And can you accept those differences? That kind of ethical. And at the end, well, we can't say the end, but the end.
The end was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm always a person, I want some teeth in my movies. I want some consequences. I want some stakes.
There has to be consequences.
And there's definitely stakes in this film.
Because you're toying with people's lives.
Yeah. But it's also, they're being a bit of the moral police. Like they're making a decision. Is it okay for the drunk driver to die?
Yeah.
Because it killed her husband and the father. But
What
then
about the school shooter?
But then the wave that creates, and then it opens up a Pandora's box of,
well, I'm going to
well,
kill
let's
this school
get rid
shooter
of these
because I'm going to
people.
save 30-something people that died, or
It's
13
that,
or whatever.
it's that trolley car dilemma, right?
Yeah. So that was really an interesting way of making that concept come alive, I thought.
Yeah, it just explored it, and it didn't get bogged down in anything. They didn't have the budget for it. It didn't get bogged down in any of that technical time travel stuff.
And the actors and actresses were great in it. I felt like they were
Yeah.
just really like the friendship between the men was super like real, and the relationship between the man and the woman was really touching.
And the character's motivation, because this time machine was being built before the husband died, because the husband's friend was trying to build this because
his family was
his whole
killed.
family was killed, and he was trying to do this to get them back. So yeah, really interesting stuff. It's on Hulu now, so anybody can check it out.
100% worth the watch, for sure.
Aporia.
Yeah. Aporia.
All
And
right.
the weird thing is, saying that name of the movie doesn't trigger that's that movie. Like,
Yeah.
what does the word aporia mean?
I think
It
it
has
means
to mean, like,
it means
memory
like I
or-
think it means like a contradiction of a contradictory phrase.
Okay. Yeah. Because every time you said aporia, I'd be like, what was that movie about? Even though I love that movie, I just couldn't remember the name
You couldn't
of
place
it.
it. All right.
Yeah.
So that's number 3 for both of us. Our 3 favorite films out of that long list we went over.
Yeah.
What's your number 2?
You're going to hate my number 2.
EO.
No.
All right. Well, as long as it's not a fun mom dinner, I can't be angry.
Okay. My number 2 is A Man Called Otto.
No, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that film.
And I know it was like the big movie, one of the big movies of the year, or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's Tom Hanks and all that. But this is what I was saying when I know your picks are going to be different than mine, other than Aporia, was because I've said this before in the podcast, I base my movies on like that I can go through multiple different feelings
Yeah.
within a movie.
You follow your heart.
I follow my heart. And
Yeah.
if I can laugh and I can cry and I can feel compassion for the characters and feel some kind of connection, that's a good movie to me. And I felt that in A Man Called Otto. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed my experience of watching that movie.
No, 1, it's Tom Hanks, so you can't get mad at that.
I loved it.
And 2, I appreciated it because it at least followed a movie structure that feels somewhat foreign and absent these days. Like, it's an older style,
Yeah.
but it felt like a movie, which so often movies don't feel like movies anymore.
True.
Like, that felt like a movie you could have seen also in the 1980s or 1990s
Right.
with a big lead name like Tom Hanks
Yeah.
that had a touching message, a dynamic character who learns and goes through changes,
Yeah.
that you find out, oh, there's more to him than his grumpy exterior, that he has a heart.
Right.
All of it was really good.
I just liked everything about it.
Yeah.
It felt really I don't know. I just like my viewing experience of it. So in general,
No, I have nothing. I have no qualms with that
I
pick.
liked the relationship between him and his neighbor.
Yeah.
The, Latin American.
Yeah, and the
Latin
family.
American.
Yeah.
And the
That had moved
family,
in.
and I just liked how she dealt with him and how he reacted to her, and just that whole thing was good.
No, I
for
think
me.
Tom Hanks has been doing great stuff that doesn't maybe get the recognition it deserves. Like I think we talked about it. We have an episode about it. The Finch,
Oh yeah,
the robot movie.
yeah, I love that movie.
I thought it was a great film.
Yeah, definitely.
We did a quick little episode about it because way back when, in the early days of The Night Before,
Yeah.
and yeah,
No,
like it's
it's
a
a
movie
great
that I
movie.
think people relatively have forgotten that Finch even was a thing.
I know, it was so good.
Where A Man Called Otto had a little more lasting appeal. I mean, I know it's an adaptation of a novel and a foreign film,
Right.
and
yeah.
but it was still. I can't get mad at that.
Although I did try to. A Man Called Ove is the name of the book, and
Yeah.
I did try to read the book, and I couldn't really get through the
Yeah,
book.
we have it on our shelf. We also
I
started
don't know
watching.
what that says about me. I mean, we have it on our shelf, so I'm like, have I read this before?
Hey, listen, we've talked about my ability to remember.
I tried to read it again because I knew the movie was coming out, and I don't know. It could have been the time and place I was in at that point in
Yeah.
time, but I couldn't get through the book.
And
but
remember,
I love the movie.
we started watching the original Man Called Ove
Oh yeah,
that night,
That
and
was
then
really
we were
good.
like into it,
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I felt the pressure. Like, no, we got to get to Tom Hanks now.
We got to get to Tom Hanks. Is that what happened? We stopped
and
it?
we bailed like 30 minutes in and switched over to Otto.
I don't feel like that's like us.
It was Otto over Ove.
Oh, okay. But I remember it feeling like a cute movie.
Yeah.
But
no, I was digging it. It's probably really great.
I think we just lack the amount of time sometimes to
Are
do
you-
all the things we want to do.
No, that was sometimes you feel that movie. I feel that
Yeah.
pressure sometimes. Like I'll watch anything by myself, good or bad. Like before we watched The Old Way yesterday, I watched another Nicolas Cage movie, The Retirement Plan.
Sorry.
Not great.
Yawning. No.
But if I'm by myself, I was like,
doesn't
I can spare this 2 hours.
So I put the pressure on you.
But if I'm with another person, and I'm like, you know, like when you're watching a movie, and you're watching it, but you're also like very aware of your audience members.
No, that's you.
Okay, yeah.
I don't do that because here's what he
Is
does.
this playing? Is this reading?
No,
Is
he
this
goes,
working?
We'll be watching a movie and he'll be like this.
No, like here's the
He'll
thing.
be like watching me watch the movie.
Because here's the thing. I don't
do that.
I'll watch any sort of thing. I like hot trash movies all day.
That sounds like porn.
Well, I do have a movie called Trash Humpers in my collection. But I'll watch a dumpster fire of a movie
Okay, right.
and be okay with it.
True.
And kind of enjoy it, find it endearing, whatever. But if I'm sitting with a person and I'm like, oh, this is a dumpster fire, I like, if I feel people aren't feeling it, I have a tendency to get uncomfortable. Like, I want to bail. Let's get out of here.
And you feel that way about me sometimes?
Well, with Ove, I was like, I don't know if this is working. Let's go to Otto. Otto's
Well,
going to be the better watch.
Problem
Let's
is,
go.
I have like a 2-hour window of being able
Well,
to
that's the
watch a
thing,
movie.
too. I'm like, we're sitting down. This is going to be a thing. Let's make
and
this a
then
good
I'm
one.
out. I fall asleep.
So, all
So,
right, you ready
anyway.
for my number 2?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's so predictable.
For you?
I'm like an open book. I'm like a see-through Ziploc bag.
Okay.
You know what's in there.
Okay. What is it?
It's not my number 1, though.
Well, I know because we're on number 2.
1993's. Directed by Victor Nunez. Ruby in Paradise.
Of course. You are predictable. You're right. I'm surprised that's not your number 1, honestly.
I felt that would be too obvious.
You love Ashley Judd.
All right. I love this movie.
No, it was good. You're right. It was good.
So
I liked it too,
I have a soft
a
spot,
lot.
as you probably know, for what I
The
call
Judd
like
family?
no,
Just kidding.
it's just one Judd. I'm a one Judd man. All right. No. For real, like the real Florida movie, like not the
yeah.
neon. Though I appreciate some of the Harmony Korine stuff, like Spring Breakers and Beach Bum and stuff. The more like Upper Panhandle, rural Florida film.
Yeah.
And Victor Nunez directed this movie. He also directed a movie called Yuli's Gold, starring Peter Fonda, which I really like. And he directed a movie that I had watched recently too called Coastlines with Josh Brolin and Timothy Oliphant.
Okay.
And I think you saw, I don't think you watched it. I watched it this year, and I realized I had seen it before. But Coastlines is the one about Josh Brolin's like the sheriff and his brother, Timothy Oliphant, gets out of jail.
Okay.
Or his best friend. He used to have a relationship with his wife.
Oh, right. I remember that.
There's that kind of
I think
love
I saw
triangle.
parts of it. Yeah.
And really good stuff. So all three of those films are like Florida. It's like Victor Nunez's little Florida trilogy thing. But Ruby in Paradise was his first one.
Yeah, no, I liked it.
And it's just like fish out of water. Ashley Judd. I think she moves to Panama City.
Something like that.
She like
Tries to get
leaves.
a job.
She leaves her home, and she's like, wasn't she married and she just left her
Yeah,
husband?
her husband was abusive.
Yeah, and she was just like saving money up, and she's like, I'm out of here. I'm going.
She had a kid with her, right?
No.
No? Okay, I'm thinking of something.
And she just like left town, lived on like a little small efficiency apartment in Panama City,
Yeah.
and was like, got a job at a beach souvenir shop,
Oh, right. Yeah.
and just had just like clawing her way to survive.
Yes.
And even a cool little scene filmed in Tampa, downtown Tampa.
Yeah.
When they went to like the trade show, they did a little like
Convention center.
the convention center there. So that was fun. And it just seemed like a great little movie. And it was in the like early 90s. So it was when, the end of the 80s, early 90s, those kind of indie films like My Own Private Idaho, things in that vein, Drugstore Cowboy. It had a cool vibe and feel, but was also a good little just character movie.
Yeah. I agree.
So Ruby
it.
in Paradise, it's like in my top, if not in my top 10, my top 20 films of all time.
Oh,
But yet it didn't make number one.
Nice.
I loved Ruby in Paradise.
I really don't think. Oh, I know what your number one's going to be.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you're really predictable.
Well, I have to be true to myself, or like people will call me out on X. So
True.
Ruby.
So Ruby, okay.
And I don't know where we saw Ruby. I think it's on Amazon or somewhere.
I have to look up
it.
something real quick. Sorry.
Are you just changing your things constantly?
No, I'm not changing. I changed.
See, my list is here on my phone. I got my notes app.
I just want to make sure I know something.
I'll hold it up to the camera while you're talking. See, it's all right here. If they see they see my number one, if they could read that.
I'm not changing anything. Well, I did change my number one once we went through the long.
All right, so what's your number two?
I already talked about my number two.
They did. We've only done
A Man Called Otto.
A Man Called Otto. So that means
we're on my number one.
You're number one.
And you're number one.
So who's going?
I was just trying to.
Well, since put your phone down. Since you know my number one, what is it?
Infinite 2 minutes.
Beyond the Infinite 2 minutes.
Beyond.
It has to be.
It has to be. Because
Why?
we did it at Pine Lake Cinema.
Yep.
You based you got inspiration for your Undo movie on it.
Yeah.
You have talked about it relentlessly to everyone we know.
Bought the Blu-ray.
You bought the Blu-ray.
The import Blu-ray because it's not American
film. You don't
film.
do that for every movie you like.
Yeah.
You like that it's, somewhat unknown for the mass public. And that's how that is like your perfect criteria of movie to love.
Well, I felt it would be disingenuous if I didn't pick it in my top three.
To.
But no, Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes, it's just like a special film.
Yeah.
I love not only all those reasons you said, I also love that it had a true, and part of it was because I could see the special features on the Blu-ray. You could tell it was everyone involved in the project was passionate and excited about it.
Yeah, watching the outtakes or whatever you call it, the extra scenes and how they were filming it and whatnot did make you appreciate what they were doing even more. Yeah, for sure.
It's like yet again a simple concept about time travel. Mm-hmm. Being in a Japanese cafe and the apartment upstairs is the 2-minute time delay between the two.
Yeah.
And you can see on the TV what's happening. So they're figuring out ways to see 2 minutes into the future or 2 minutes into the past.
Mm-hmm.
And how
it's just like a really interesting concept.
Yeah, and it just
hasn't
snowballs
been done.
into this kind of over complicated, absurd thing. Mm-hmm. But it ultimately ends up being somewhat of a cute little love story.
Yeah.
Between himself and the owner of a little bakery thing around the corner or whatever.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was filmed on little GoPros and iPhones and a cool little quirky Japanese film. I
agree. It was a good movie.
And I watched it like 2 days before writing the script for my Undo movie and was going to go in one direction for Undo, and watching Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes on a whim totally like changed my scope and of things.
Oh, thanks. That's good.
So like a film that does that, and it's like 80 minutes long too on top of it.
Yeah, no, I think I knew you were going to pick that.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean,
So
I
your
knew
number one is, let me look here real
I was
quick
going
on
to
the
try to
list.
present it like you do.
Okay, you could do that, but let me,
What do you think it is?
it's, going down the list, I'm going to say
Hold on. Okay, don't look at my phone.
Your
I have to put my glasses on.
number one film, and this might ruin your introduction, but I'll say the 2023 Netflix original.
I can't find the year it came out.
The
Hold on.
Netflix original
Okay.
starring Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman's
No.
May December.
No.
All right, I tried.
You thought that was my number
No.
one?
Well,
Really? I mean,
all right.
I
No.
liked that movie.
Actually, your number one is Nowhere.
Okay, that was on my list. That's the one that got bumped.
Okay.
Because I liked that movie. There were aspects of it that I was like, this could have been filmed better. You know?
Yeah, but I think it was a lower budget
whatever.
film.
It was. Okay. I loved that movie. So I had a hard time.
I can't see
Okay.
it.
I had a hard time bumping it off.
Yeah, just checking our time.
But I had to think, which one was my more enjoyable watching experience?
Get that mic, yeah.
Like, so
I'm listening. I'm looking at the list.
Nowhere would have been my number 4, I guess,
Okay.
if we were doing a top 5. Because I loved Nowhere, and I love like a woman power movie, although I hated how it ended. But my number one, you can't guess my number one?
I mean, my only other guess at this point would be like To Leslie.
No.
All right, good. I was trying to hold back, like not saying like, I hope it's not To Leslie.
It's not
But
To
I didn't say it. I didn't say it that way.
You didn't. Well, you kind of did.
Well, only after you said it wasn't. Oh, The Big Sick would be a guess.
That's it.
All right, good.
The
yeah.
Big Sick. Yeah.
The Big
and
Sick's
you know
a great
what?
film.
When we went over the list at home, I was like, ooh, that's my number one. And then when we went over it randomly here, I was like, didn't see it for some reason, and I didn't put it in there.
Oh, well, we brushed over
And
it
then
quick
when we brushed
mentioned
over
it.
it again, I was like, oh, I forgot to put that one in.
Yeah.
So I had to push A Man Called Otto down,
Yeah,
and I had to push Nowhere out.
that's
so
okay. I can
The Big
appreciate.
Sick,
Yeah.
like that goes in like my top 10 movies in general.
Mm-hmm.
I liked a lot. 2017 is what I just looked up.
Yeah. And
Right?
it was like an Amazon film. Amazon
Yeah,
Pictures.
and I loved it. There were just
Based
so
on a true
many
story.
things I loved about it.
No, I thought that movie was great. And again, Ray Romano was in it.
I love
Was Ray Romano
Ray
just here a
Romano.
minute? I heard
Ray
him.
Romano is like a comforting person to me.
He's
I
like, you
him.
can hang out with me. It's great.
I just love the whole like hospital waiting room stuff. I loved like the
And Holly Hunter. Holly Hunt?
Holly Hunter. I love
Hunter
her.
Hunt. Which one is it?
Hunter.
Hunter.
Holly Hunter.
I confuse her and Jennifer Jason Leigh all the time.
Really? There's
It's
like
weird.
nothing alike.
I know, but I just do.
I don't even think they're within the same age range.
I think we had this discussion while we were watching the film, and I think we proved that they are.
There's no way.
We'll let our
Wait, is it
listeners-
Holly Hunter or Holly Hunt? Hold on.
You have the phone. All I have is a non-internet
I have
phone.
it
My
pulled
phone
up
doesn't
already.
do internet.
I already have it pulled up. Hold on.
But we discussed
It
while we were
is.
watching it
Okay.
that I think I made the
it's
same
Holly
comment.
Hunter.
But I think I said like, oh, her and Jennifer Jason Leigh are about the same age.
I loved everything about that movie. I think everybody should watch it. It
No, it
gives
was
you all
rec-
the feels. It's funny.
It was recommended to me years ago, and I kind of ignored the recommendation, and it was a bad decision.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was funny. It was sad. It was heartwarming. It made you feel like connected to the characters. All those things I love about a movie that
Yeah.
I keep saying. But it wasn't this like, was it a big box office movie at the time? I don't remember it being.
No. It might 2017. No.
No, I don't remember it being. I mean, I vaguely remember hearing about it, but it wasn't something that I saw at the time.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
I think didn't Michael Showalter directed it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that was the thing too. I was like, oh, Michael Showalter directed this. I should have paid attention a long time ago because I like Showalter films.
It's great.
Yeah.
Everyone should watch it.
All right.
I mean, are we too predictable? Is this what this shows? What is this top 3?
No, it shows that we're learning each other, and it also says that Aporia was the best film we've watched that we haven't talked about.
Cheers.
Collectively. Oh, you cheer? Are we done?
No, I agree. I'm saying cheers. I agree.
And I have no. I mean, I don't think Otto would have made any near the top of my list, but Big Sick would have made somewhere in the top zone.
Yeah, I mean, there were actually a lot of other movies on that list that I liked.
Cool.
A lot, but some of the nowhere stuff that, like the what do you call it? The CG.
Oh, the CGI, the computer stuff.
It was a little over the top. Like that part of it took me out of it a little bit.
For nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So. Well, listen, I see them turning some video screens off behind us.
Oh.
So we can start wrapping this up. We still got our top 5, bottom 5 of the movies we did podcast about.
For the year.
And you know what? This makes... We'll have to decide a discussion we need to have later, I guess. Do these films we just talked about... Are they eligible for top 5, bottom 5?
Of course. We just talked about them in
I guess
podcast.
so. I guess so. They are
That's
top
the
5.
criteria.
All right. No, that makes it like... All right, we'll think about it.
So we took that whole list of movies we hadn't seen and plopped 3 out that we actually talked about on a podcast. Actually, more than 3. 5.
It was like 5. But I'm thinking... We'll just think about it, because I almost like... Because these are like the bonus supplemental ones, because... Do we want... I don't know. Yeah, let's think about it.
Let's look at our numbers.
Yeah.
For the year.
Yeah, we'll go over the list. And then we also have our Hallmark for the Holidays, 3rd annual. But this one's we're dubbing the Hallmark Hollies Awards.
Yeah, we didn't watch as many this year.
No, but we created some categories to award these for.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's cheers.
Cheers.
And it's good to be back.
It's good to be back.
All right. Bye.
Bye.